Welcome back to another episode. God bless. Scintillating? No, we're kind of tired of scintillating. What are we? Glamorous?
Lively.
Exciting? Lively?
Yeah.
It'll definitely be fun because we got a good guest this episode.
Definitely fun.
Another guy. Oh, God bless. I'm struggling with my words today. Welcome back to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids.
And if you could, please follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Guide to Poor Parenting, all one word. Miss Jennifer, who we got over today?
We got Miss Melissa. Woo! Yay!
Hi, Melissa.
Hello. Yeah.
We met Miss Melissa at our sport group. So we've kind of been going through the ranks of people that go to the adoptive parents support group. We got Erin for our first interview. We got Melissa. We got Rachel coming, I think. I tried to get Teresa and Alan, but I don't. They seemed a bit hesitant. And Alan, I can really understand.
I can understand that.
Single mom with like 8 children.
Yeah.
She out in Decatur.
Yeah.
She ain't coming nowhere.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get a few more. I think there's a lady, I think she's a doctor. Anyway, we're trying to get her. She said she was interested, so we're trying to get them. Then we're trying. Melissa, if you know anybody that might want to come on.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
You think Randy might come on?
No. Randy doesn't talk about stuff.
Well, Melissa, Jennifer, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking an Aldi's Malbec.
That's right. And Miss Melissa does not drink. So now you said you're not in recovery. It's just it's just health issues,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
We were walking around Aldi's today. I was like, what are we drinking? And Jennifer was like, well, can she drink at all? I was like, no, I don't think so. So I was like, I don't think she's like in recovery.
Yeah, no. I have other stuff going on. I can't handle it. So.
And if you are in recovery, that was not a joke about you. Please don't get mad.
So what are you drinking, Miss Melissa?
Diet Dr. Pepper.
With low ice.
There you go.
That good ice.
You were just telling us about it. You go there every day.
Yeah, yes, I'm known there.
Jennifer, what do you think about this Malbec?
It's all right. It's not my
bl-
favorite Malbec
It's
ever.
bland as hell.
Yeah.
Pardon my cussing. I hope you don't mind, Melissa. We're cousins, but yeah, this is some bland wine.
Yeah, it's not the best, but what can you do?
It was $5 from Aldi's. What do you expect?
Yeah. I mean, I love me some Aldi's.
Oh, yeah.
Hit or misses, but when we get our drinks there, though.
Does Randy drink at all?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. No, he just doesn't. He never has, and he's not interested in it.
So for our 4 listeners, Randy is Miss Melissa's husband. He's not here. He's wrangling tree branches with his sons.
Gosh, God love him and God bless him. And he's gonna need it.
Now, how long have you, Mr. Randy, been married?
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, we knew my sister and his brother are married.
Okay.
And then we met through them, and then I had to wait for him to get out of college because I'm older than he is.
Oh.
And so waited around for a while, and then we just dated 4 months and were engaged 2 weeks and got married.
Wow.
So and we made 20 years back in April.
Wow.
Well, you said you just turned 50, right?
I just turned 50 last week.
So he would have been like 23, 24?
He was 24 when we got married, and I was just a couple of months away from 30.
Okay. It was this house for the first marriage for both of y'all? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How'd y'all meet?
So, through my sister.
Yeah.
Well, and it's weird how they met because I talked my sister into taking another job and moving. And when she moved into this new job, she met their mother, and their mother hounded her for months
To date
her son. And my sister was like, I will go out with him one time if you promise to never mention him to me again. And so she went out with him and then ended up marrying him like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 months later.
Wow. When you know what you know, huh?
That's right.
I mean,
yeah.
Wait, so she's married to Randy's brother?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
My older sister married the oldest son, and I married the youngest son.
Wow.
So
That's
Alabama.
That's Alabama,
No,
baby.
I'm just kidding.
At least they weren't cousins.
No, yeah. They're not marrying the relations.
Yeah.
It's just they just wanted to keep. They like the mom so much, apparently.
she's a good one.
My mom's families like that. There was like the Ramseys and the Franklins, and they all intermarried.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so I know what you mean. Double cousins, I think is what they're called.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I've met one other couple, and this one was like, "Oh, my sister and I married brothers. They divorced." I hope it's Susan
Hopefully
and
that
Mike and not me.
So y'all got married at 30. Did y'all start trying for a family like immediately?
Yeah, pretty much we did, and we had 3 miscarriages.
Oh,
wow.
sorry.
Right, pretty much right after each other, and I have always wanted to adopt. I don't ever remember a time that wasn't in my mind, even as a little kid.
Oh, wow.
For some reason, I always wanted to adopt. Randy did not want to. He was completely and totally did not want to do it.
He wanted his kid and nobody else's.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so we went through all the things I didn't get as far as IVF because I'm one of those people, I'm quick to have enough.
Yeah.
Of pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Well, I was about to say 3 miscarriages would be quickly
And
enough.
Yeah.
we went, we did fertility treatments and all this kind of stuff. And I was going by myself. Randy is an extremely private person. He does not talk, very modest, very private.
Yeah.
And so
Which
I
is
was
so different from you. So that's weird how you guys like.
Yeah, we are really opposites.
Yeah.
You know, I'm quick tempered and I hit it quick and hard, and he's real calm and laid back and patient, and it's like, "Richard, come on," you know, sort of thing. But so the doctor's appointments to him are very
Private.
Yeah, and so I went by myself doing these things.
That's got to be hard.
And well, it got to be. And I finally told us, like, look, some people can go through years of that, and I understand it. And if that's what you want, then go for it. But that was not for me. And I finally told him, if we're going to if I'm going to be some doctor's science experiment, you have to go with me to every single thing.
Right.
And he went with me, y'all. The man had no idea what women go through at a doctor's. So when we went in, and I'm wearing a paper gown, and he's sitting there, and then my male doctor walks in, and Randy's going, like,
What?
wait a minute. And then,
fixing to touch
then
my
they
wife,
bring
right?
out the stirrups.
Yeah.
And my husband, y'all,
White as a ghost?
no color left.
Oh, gosh.
None. I mean, and I'm telling you, he was sitting right here beside me.
Yeah.
And, we did all the things, and then we left, and he's like, I'm completely open to adoption if you want to stop this.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what it took. He was done. When he saw what I was going through, he had no idea. He thought I was going in and either getting a shot
shots,
or taking a pill or, something like that.
Yeah.
He had no idea what was really going on. And even though he was told.
Yeah.
But he had to see it
Right.
to understand it. And then that way we just decided he was great with adoption. So, I've had other friends who have adopted in different ways, and he wanted to do like
Infant adoption?
he wanted to do infant, but he also wanted to do either a closed private adoption or go overseas.
Okay.
And so that's where we started. And then, when, I don't know if y'all have ever looked into like a private adoption, but you basically have to make a binder of yourself, selling yourself to a family.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and he wasn't real thrilled about that.
Private.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, then we started looking into going overseas, and all my friends had all adopted from China. But being older, we were all older and older than Randy. He wasn't old enough to adopt from China. There was an age limit.
Oh.
So at the time that we were doing it, I don't know what it is now, but he had to be 30, and he was nowhere close. So we started looking. We decided on Kazakhstan.
Okay.
And so that's where we were going to go. And then it turned into, and we started doing our home study and all that kind of stuff. And then the people that we used for our home study asked us if we would be willing to foster until we got our referral.
Okay.
And, we were fine with that. And that's how we got our first son.
So first foster kid, wasn't even expecting to adopt him.
Right.
Got him, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm in love.
Yeah, well, when we got him,
Not so fast, Jennifer.
I mean, I loved him. He was precious. I mean, I can think about the first time he walked into my house, and we had gone through the classes, and I had known people who adopted and heard their stories, but when DHR called and they were like, "We've got a child for you," and I had to go to a daycare to pick him up.
Okay.
I drove up to a daycare that I've never been to before. Got out of my car, told them who I was, and they brought me a 4-year-old child with his first name only and said, "Here you go."
Oh my God.
Take him home.
He had nothing with him. He had no idea who I was. He was a 4-year-old getting in the car with a woman he had never seen before to go home and to live. And y'all, it just hit me, you know. We got home and I called Randy, you know, because he can't take his cell phone into work and he's not always available. So I called him and said, "Hey, we have a child. You need to come home." And so I decided to go ahead and cook dinner instead of taking him somewhere else. Because then it started hitting me, oh my gosh, this child is with complete strangers. I don't need to take him out somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
So I started cooking dinner, and he needed a bath because he had been at daycare all day, and I ran him a bath, and it's like he's being bathed by a complete stranger.
It's weird.
You know, it just things kept hitting me that I never had thought about.
Right.
Yeah.
And
How did he do? Like, was he?
He was. Our kids had all been shuffled around so much.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't as big a deal to him
As it was to you.
as it was to me at the time. This was something completely foreign to me. I grew up with my two parents that had been married forever since my mom was a teenager.
Yeah.
You know, all my brothers and sisters, we all had family. We all had aunts and uncles. If we needed somebody to watch us, it was family.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but he had been shuffled a lot. And this was not his first go-round in foster care.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it definitely is. But y'all, when he was sitting on my couch and he had been bathed and he was in his little pajamas and I was cooking and I came around the corner and he kept smelling himself. And I'm like, "Is something wrong?" He's like, "No, I've just never smelled this good before."
Oh.
So it's just one thing after another. And I didn't even know his last name.
Oh, wow.
I had no paperwork. I just went and picked him up. They gave me nothing.
So if he went, something would have happened that night and you had to take him, you would have been.
I would have just had to call DHR and say,
I got an issue with
his
Johnny
first name.
here, and I don't know anything else about him, but that he's 4.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
Oh, very scary. And then when we're sitting there talking to him, Randy comes home, we're eating and talking. We find out he starts naming all these kids, and we're like, "Who's that?" He's like, "Oh, my brothers and sisters." He was from a sibling group of 9. And we didn't find out till later that when they all came in, they took the list and tore it into 3 sections, handed it to 3 different social workers and said, "Place these kids."
Oh, wow.
So
Breaks
they
my
were
heart.
just, you know, it's just so much that we had no idea about when we got into it.
Did you know you were getting a 4-year-old before you went and picked him up at the daycare?
I was told I was getting a 4-year-old and his 3-year-old sister. This is how kind of crazy some of these things can get. We were supposed to get Mia at that time too.
Oh, wow.
But another foster family was supposed to get one of the little girls. She came and saw both of them and said she wanted 2, so they just gave her 2.
Oh, gosh.
And then we got the one.
So did you have the PJs for him since he didn't
We
have
had a
anything?
couple
Or
of
did
little-
you just kind of get some things real quick?
We had a couple little things just on hand because we had been told you might want to have a little, something. So, so we had that, but no, I had to go and completely get everything he needed because he came to me with what he had on.
That's it.
That's it.
No toothbrush, no anything.
Nothing.
That's
I'm glad
sad.
to see DHR has improved their track record in
Yeah,
15 years.
Oh, that's great. But
that was a
it was
lie, by
just
the way.
such a crazy situation.
Yeah.
And it still is when we go back and look at things and think about things. And we're friends with another family that has adopted 3 of the siblings.
Oh, okay.
So we have 6 and they have 3. And so
So do you have the younger 3 or the younger 6, or is it just dispersed?
it's just dispersed.
Okay.
and that's another thing I didn't realize, and I've always been really big into birth order. I think birth order is just fascinating because there's older child, middle child, younger child, the personalities that come along with each. We totally screwed that up. I mean, we got, like, Marcel's our first, but he's not our oldest. And that has caused issues over the years because when he first came to us, he was the one and only. Mm-hmm. He was spoiled completely rotten because I had,
wanted a baby
forever, and I got me one, and he was amazing, and I was going to make sure that he had everything and every opportunity, and I'm telling you, like I said, I come in hot. And so that was something that Randy and I did not understand because we're close to our brothers and sisters. I talk to two of my siblings almost daily.
Yeah.
And one I don't talk to as often, but he's a guy, and you don't call them as much as, your sisters kind of thing. And we had told DHR that we would like to keep as many kids together as we could. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, not only did they lose their parents in their house, but they lost their siblings.
Yeah.
And that really was hard for us. So we told them that if anybody needed to be moved, because we're still planning on fostering and going overseas.
Right.
I was wondering where the Kazakhstan thing was.
So, because, our plan was, and, of course, when you go with DHR, the plan is always, at the beginning, reunification.
Yeah.
So he'll go back. We're going to take care of him for this time. Well, then his sister needed a place. And she was 6 at the time. And we were like, great, he'll be so excited. So we were surprised. We didn't tell him. Big mistake. We didn't tell him we were going to bring Jessica home. So I went and picked her up while he was at school, daycare. And when we picked him up and she was there, surprised, his entire countenance just dropped.
Aww.
Was he mad or just like...
He had been the only, and now his older bossy sister's here.
Oh,
so not only did he lose the only, he also lost being the oldest.
Yeah.
So now he's going to start sharing, and there have been there's been a lot of jealousy and competition over the years.
Yeah.
Because they were taught to compete against each other, and they had to compete for attention, and they had to compete for things, basic things that typically you don't have to compete for. They had to.
Oh.
And so, we had her a couple of months. We got him 4th of July, and we got her Labor Day.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And then...
now, question. Was Jessica one of the two sisters with Mia? Was she... Okay, so there's 3... There's...
Okay, let me see. It's boy, 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 girl, girl. Boy, girl, boy, boy, boy.
Okay.
Wow.
And you have 3 of the girls.
I have 2 girls.
Oh, so you don't...
2 girls, 4 boys. There's, I have to be really careful because I do not need to say any names. The way their family was divided up within itself is a lot kind of like mine. Mine growing up, we had what they called the older 3 and the girls. Mm. Even though 2 of the older 3 were girls. But they were all born really close together. And then there was a 5-year gap.
Gotcha.
And then my younger sister and I were born like 16 months apart. So we were kind of like a combo deal. We were always treated basically as twins.
Right. You're the Irish twins.
Right. Yeah, we were just, that's the way. That's their family was divided up that way. There were the older 3 who were boys. And then starting with my Jessica, there was one a year for 7 years.
Okay.
Wow.
And then there was a gap, and then my youngest was born.
Okay, so the girl you got right after, not Marcus, but Marcel. Y'all don't have her anymore, right?
She's 22. She'll be 23 in November. She's out on her own.
Oh, okay. But that's not me or Jessica?
That's Jessica.
Oh, it's Jessica. Okay. I was getting confused.
We're very confused. We got them all out of order, and it just kind of really, I don't know. It was a lot. But anyway, they decided during that, after we had gotten Jessica and some things had happened with DHR and the parent, they had decided to go for termination. No, they decided to send them back. They were going to send back the older 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other ones were going to stay in foster care. And then they were going to give back 3 at a time.
Okay.
Or, 2 or 3 at a time until she had all of them back.
To a single mother who didn't have the resources, apparently.
Right. Well, they were DHR was providing rent assistance and classes and all the stuff, and she was going to her classes and doing great and all that kind of stuff.
Quote unquote.
So she was supposed to be getting the kids back.
Okay.
So that Christmas. Okay, we only had the 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
That Christmas, they decided to send the 3 oldest boys back. They decided to give her the older ones that didn't need so much care,
Right.
that they could, do things on their own. It was the week of Christmas, like the 23rd, and DHR went to all the homes and got the boys and took them back to the house. And as they were unloading the car to put the boys back in the house, the landlord came up and said, absolutely not. Not another person's moving into this house. She's been evicted and I couldn't get her out.
Oh, wow.
So right there at Christmas, which is another reason why we don't do Christmas on the 25th. We do Christmas well early because Christmas was traumatic for
Well, yeah, 3 of them,
our
at least.
oldest. Because, we got one of those boys
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
Did they, what was I going to ask? Did the boys want to go back? The 3
Oh,
eldest?
yeah, they absolutely wanted
Oh, they
to go
didn't.
back.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Oh, no, everybody wanted to go back, they thought.
Okay.
And so, and it was really hard because those boys were all in basically group homes because they were older. They were like 13, 12, and
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
probably.
And they're
9.
going to go see their mom. They're wicked
moving
excited.
back the week
they're
of
going to
Christmas.
go in.
They're-
Yes, it's going to be awesome. And then they get there, turn around and have to go back to the group home.
And they can't go back to the group home because their spots had already been filled.
Oh, gosh.
So then they had to go into emergency care
gosh.
again.
Yeah.
And, it was a whole mess. Well, then that's when they decided, okay, we're going to terminate rights. That we're going to just go completely for it. So we're all waiting on a court date. You know how long that takes, months,
Oh, yeah.
and sort of thing. That March, our Eli was born. She had been in court with another child on the day before Eli was born, and nobody knew she was expecting.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So our Eli was born, and then he was in the NIC unit for a month, and we brought him home. So then we had 3. Well, then it's looking like, okay, they're going to terminate with this.
Right.
So we found out that to go overseas for an adoption, you can't have any non-family members living in your home
Oh.
to go adopt overseas. Well, foster children are considered non-family. So we would have had to give the 3 back, try to adopt, and then try to get them back. But then we were also told if they become eligible for adoption, the foster parent
Yeah.
that has them has first
Dibs.
Dibs.
dibs,
Yeah.
right? And so we decided, we put a hold on our adoption so that we could, keep the children that we already were raising and loving and care for. So we stopped that, and then, things never go as planned. And
Was Mr. Randy in love with him by this point?
oh, absolutely.
Oh, good.
So you had a 6, 4, and a newborn at that point.
Yeah, well,
sure, maybe 7, 5.
Well, no, it
newborn?
took a couple of, it took a while.
Yeah.
Let's see, that was, it was a year. So they were
7, 5, and newborn.
Yeah, 7,
Okay.
5, and then the newborn. And then,
And then you just couldn't resist anymore, so you kept taking him.
right. We kept adding. Then we got Jordan, and he was 11 when we got him. And then, the month after we got him, Mia's adoption was a disruption.
Oh.
Oh.
And so hers fell through.
Now, was she still with that other foster family with the 2 girls?
She had been with 2 foster parents
Okay.
since then.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, it just
Didn't work.
fell through.
Gotcha.
And so then that was her and another little one.
Which is really hard on them kids to
Right.
have an adoption disrupted.
Right.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting Mia. We got Mia, and the other family that we know got the other daughter.
Right.
And so then they ended up with 3, and then we had the 5. And so we finally got. Do y'all remember there was an icky thing that happened with DHR and the kids, because that fall after we had
You had 4 at that time?
we had 5
Oh, 5.
5 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to court without us. They had told us, everyone had told us that court had been, that's when they were going for the termination
Right.
of rights. They told us that court had been postponed and not to go. Well, then our social worker showed up the afternoon that court was supposed to happen and told us, well, court did happen. And
What?
rights were terminated for the older 9 because the parent and the social workers and the lawyers got together and had a deal that if she signed away the rights to the oldest 9, she could have a chance to get the 10th back, which was my Eli that we had had.
Oh, no.
Oh,
From
no.
NICU
That she had never raised. She had only ever had him in the hospital during NICU. And she had never had him at her house. And so that was the deal.
Oh, my gosh.
So then
Had they even informed you? Would you have been able to do anything about it, though?
there was nothing. Foster parents have 0 rights.
Yeah.
0 rights.
Yeah. I mean, even if they had told you about it, you would have just been like, well, nothing.
Had they told me about court, I could have testified.
Oh, you could have? Okay.
And because there were definitely things that she should have been held accountable for that she wasn't. There were
okay.
definitely, because I mean, we had to do things like, he was in a lot of physical therapy and occupational therapy and that kind of stuff. Well, of course, they give the parents the ability to go to those meetings as well.
Right.
So I was at occupational therapy and physical therapy with him and her, and whatever social worker, caseworker, whoever she brought with her. And there were some definite things that happened at those that even the therapy places reported to DHR that nothing really was taken
Happened
care of,
with-
like alcohol
Oh.
and and things like that. And so we were completely devastated. So then we had to start, we're having to tell the kids, y'all aren't going back. You can't go on visits anymore. Rights have been terminated. You are no longer to see her again, but Eli's going to go.
And at this point, how old is Eli? How long have you had him?
About 1.5 years, almost 2.
Okay, so he's almost 2 years old, walking, kind of talking, but have never
Right.
really met
Had
his
never
bio mom.
experienced anything else but me and Randy.
Gotcha. Oh,
And
God.
the other kid, I'm telling you, when I tell you that's of all the things that I've gone through ever, that was the hardest, darkest time of my life. I don't ever want to go back. I really try really hard not to think about every bit of it because I almost destroyed myself. I mean, I really did.
That's rough. And then you
Yeah.
have all the animosity of the older kids knowing who
Right.
she is and then getting mad at Eli. And he's only 2 years old.
Right.
And they're like, oh, why don't you get to go with mom and we don't?
Why'd
kind of
she
thing.
want him to come visit? Why
Right.
didn't she want me to come visit? Why'd
Right.
she sign me? And see,
Yeah.
we didn't tell our kids everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we didn't feel that they could handle everything.
Right.
But other people, social workers, others, we're
tell
just
them.
going to be so honest. And it's like, you just told an 11-year-old that his mom gave him away so that she could get the other back.
Right.
And that's a problem.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then, we're still dealing with competition and jealousy.
Yeah.
Well, y'all made it.
Yeah.
So they ended up taking Eli back the Monday.
DHR?
Taking him back and giving him back to his birth mother the Monday of Thanksgiving that year.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! I bet
Wait,
that was
now,
traumatic as hell
now
for
you
him.
have a fucked up Thanksgiving, a fucked up Christmas.
Yes.
You just no
Yes.
more holidays. Are
and
good for you.
yes, and during this time that Jessica had a birthday and Mia's adoption was finalized.
Oh gosh.
So we're trying to celebrate her adoption, missing one.
Oh,
It was
my
it
God.
was awful.
That sounds
when I
like
tell you.
hell.
It
Yeah.
was absolute. I mean, horrible.
Yeah.
Was Eli just a little wreck?
Well, when DHR takes a child from your home, you have no contact again.
How was he when he got back though?
He was not the child we sent.
Oh.
They took him at the end of November, and maybe right around New Year, right just before New Year's.
Oh God, 2 months.
Just before New Year's, yeah. Oh yeah, it was bad. It was long enough. It was way too long.
Yeah.
We got a call, because I do think I had a therapist that was helping me work through everything, and she's like, look, you need to keep your name known at DHR. She's like, do not write them off. Y'all, I wrote letters weekly. I made phone calls. I was like, if he needs anything, you tell me. If he whatever, you tell me. You know, we're here. Is he back? Have you checked on?
Yeah.
I was a fly in their ear for 2 months.
Right.
I was driving myself crazy. They was going to make sure they were going to go crazy
Right.
with me.
Right. You took my baby, so I'm gonna mess with you all the time.
So we finally got a phone call from our social worker. She's like, well, he's back in foster care.
Oh,
Y'all, I
Jesus.
lost my crap right there. So what do you mean he's in foster care? If he's in foster care, I'm the foster. He should be with me. They had taken him and put him with another foster family at Christmas because they didn't want to hurt us in case he didn't stay. And I was like, y'all didn't worry about hurting me before. I want him today.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you can't get him today. So we got him back on January 12th.
Oh God.
So he was gone from the week of Thanksgiving to January 12th, and we got him back. And he was such a happy baby. He came back. There were a lot of, we were noticing a lot more delays and things. He had to be hospitalized. He was with her a couple of weeks before he had to be hospitalized. You know, he was a preemie. They were smoking and all this stuff and not getting him in, and it's cold, and that's RSV season.
Yeah.
So he ended up having to be hospitalized, and that's how he came back into foster care, was through the hospital notifying.
Goodness.
And then we got him back. And then we went from, that was January. We did not get a court date until September
Oh wow.
Wow.
for TPR, because we had to go through TPR then.
Yeah.
So we went to court, they TPR'd
Yeah.
right there.
They should have done that before, not let her have the 10th out of the 9th. They should have just said,
Right.
you can't deal with these. We're not going to let you deal with this one.
Right.
Ugh.
Well, my thing is if you couldn't take care of older children who could feed themselves and do, what makes you think they're going to,
Seriously.
a medically fragile,
2-year-old.
he's already in all these therapies. He's already at risk for all these other things.
Yeah.
And they got TPR in September, and she appealed.
Oh God.
And we had to go through a whole nother year. It takes a full year for an appeal to go through. And then it was finally upheld. And during all of that, no, it was after that. Maybe we were waiting on.
That's so much to try to keep track.
There's so much. I'm trying to remember.
You're doing great.
I got a bill in the mail.
Okay.
And it was from Huntsville Hospital. And I had already had surgery earlier okay. So this was February, I had surgery. And then in July, I got another bill from Huntsville Hospital, $5,000. Like, I don't owe them a penny. I've already dealt with insurance. So I've already paid everything. Everything's done. So I flip it over to look at the charges, and it's labor and delivery. And I'm going,
She had an 11th?
I've never been in labor and delivery in my life. She had gone into pre-labor with the baby, another one, the 11th one.
11th one. Wow.
And they had her name and my address, and I got the bill for that service.
Oh, God.
So I called DHR up. I was like, there's a baby. If they haven't been born, they're coming.
Yeah.
I said, I've got the bill. So they had to do some phone calls, and he was born like a week later, and we brought him home 2 days old.
Now, which one was that?
That's Manny. That's my baby.
Manny. Okay. That's the one you still have. And
Yeah,
comes
he's
to the
still at
sport
home.
group.
We still have 2 at home. We had 6 children, 4 are on their own, 2 are still at home.
Oh, my gosh.
So, but I told him, I was like, I want him.
Yeah.
And they were like, are you sure? I was like, yes. But he didn't have to go through all that. She did not try for visitation. By that time, Manny was born in August, and Eli's adoption was finalized in the beginning of November.
Oh, wow.
So then we still had to go through a whole nother year of Manny still being a foster child, but we didn't have to do visitation.
That's
we didn't
good.
have to do, she kept saying she wanted it. We kept setting up ISPs, and she didn't show.
I know.
And then there would be court, and she wouldn't show. So, at our final court appearance, they were like, says that she's going to let go. And so they actually TPR'd him and didn't have him signed over, which was a lot better for us because there's another, she could have appealed, but she couldn't change her mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With signing over, she couldn't change her mind, but she could have changed her mind, but she didn't. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So was the root of a lot of her problems drugs, or was it just
neglect?
Neglect. Okay. Mm-hmm. She just didn't know how to be a parent, or didn't want to be.
No, and the older boys all had run-ins with the law and schools and things like that, so they were kind of known for that sort of thing.
It's just sad.
I mean, I don't white privilege talking here, but it was like, I think if I was a woman and I'd had like 9 children and I kept popping them out, I'd be like, could I get like an IUD or get my tubes tied or something?
She had all that had been offered to her, and then when Eli was the only one that was not born naturally. He was C-section, mm-hmm. and the hospital wanted to right then take care of it. Well, the state of Alabama does not allow a mother having just given birth to make a big decision like that. So they had her set up to come back a month later, which, you know, me and my selfishness, because I am a very selfish person, it's like, had they done that and taken care of that, we wouldn't have Manny.
Yeah.
You know, and when I think of that, it's like, ooh, I want to brat his head, but I don't want to be without him either.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
So, but we don't know after that. My husband, you know, I had already said that he gets to enough a lot slower than I do. Mm-hmm. But when Manny's adoption was finalized, he was like, you take that license and get rid of it. He's like, tear it up, burn it, whatever it is you need to do. We will not go through this again. So he's done.
Yeah. No more Kazakhstan, no more fostering.
Yeah, no more. Because, I mean, I was really bad. I didn't mention this earlier, but I was really bad when he'd be at work and DHR would call me, hey, we got another one. It's like, bring him on. So he would come home and there'd be another one at the dinner table. And then he'd come home and there'd be another one at the dinner table. You know, so he was like, you get rid of that license. We're done. Done.
I think 6 is more than enough.
Yes.
And then for you guys to have 6 and for that other family to have 3 and for them to still all be together, I feel like that is the best that any family could hope for if this happens to them. Yeah. Because that's hard. A lot of times, like you said, the 3, ripped up 3 times and here just get them homes, that usually just happens.
Right.
So for them, I know they probably don't appreciate it because they're kids, and young adults, but it's probably the best.
Right.
Now, did the kids have like any animosity towards Manning because he was like never had to go visit Biomom or anything? Did he ever bring up anything about not being able to see her if they like talked about her?
They've talked about her, and he about maybe 2 years ago. He was like, I've never seen this person. Mm-hmm. I had not realized. We have pictures of her. Mm-hmm. And the kids have a picture or 2.
Yeah.
I just never thought that he had never seen.
Yeah.
And so we showed him a picture, and he's like, yeah, no. And then that was it. And he has not asked anymore. He hasn't... He doesn't really have questions about it. He's heard stories from the kids.
Yeah.
They don't talk about her a lot.
I was about to say, I'm sure he's inherited their trauma, or at least part of it.
Right, yeah. And that's, you would think, a lot of people think that he shouldn't have behaviors and he shouldn't have the traumas. They think, well, he's been with you since 2 days old.
Yeah, but he's been around his siblings who are all like
that's what we
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly having to inform people.
Yeah.
And we will be forever. No, he did not go through the same things he went through. He went through his own trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, and I do believe even at 2 days old, he's not smelling the same things. The foods are different. I'm different. My heartbeat's different. Everything was different.
Yes.
That is a trauma to a baby.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And, and then he's got to live with people that are addicted to substances or steal or constantly in trouble at school or fight and hide hide food. We've gone through all. If you name an issue
You've gone
that
through it.
somebody from trauma could go through, we've gone through it.
Yeah.
Because with the 6, they all had different. Some of the things were the same, but a lot of the things were the same.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I can understand if you have to compete for food, you're going to hide the food so that you don't have to compete for it later.
Yeah.
If that's something that they have.
Yeah,
to
I mean
do.
they've hidden food in places you go, no, why would you put food there? But it was a safe place for their food because nobody else was looking for food there. So we've gone through that.
And you can talk to your blue in the face. They're not going to believe you that they're always going to eat,
Yeah.
even though they've done that ever since they've been with you.
Right.
They still are like in back of their mind. Well, today could be the day.
Right.
Or tomorrow could be the day where she's going to not feed me and I need to have my stash.
What's going to set somebody off that I don't get what I need?
Right.
And we ended up, I believe in finding a good counselor that you can work with, that you trust. I mean, one of my policies is if somebody's going to go see a counselor, I go through counseling with that person first.
Okay.
I let them get to know me. I get to know them because I want to know what my kid's going to be told.
Right.
And you don't have to tell me what was said in the session. You don't have to tell me what you said. But I want to have that relationship that I know that I can trust this person to tell them something that I believe is true or I believe is right or good or beneficial.
Right.
And so I've been through a lot of counselors over the years. But we actually had a counselor because the food thing was just driving me insane, finding it all over the house. And they were like, before you go to bed, before the kids go to bed, go with them, let them pick out something that's appropriate for them to eat, not Mountain Dew and Skittles, but something that they could have. Say, here it is. This is where we're going to put it. It's on the table. This is your container or whatever. You need something to eat during the night, or you come to this. You can have as much of this as you want. And y'all, that helped so much.
Really?
Oh.
That's good.
It really did.
I'd be afraid of bugs.
See, that's me. I have lived in places where bugs and things were a problem, and I just did not want that in my home.
Yeah.
As an adult.
Yeah.
And that way, we had one kid break that rule. Like here's your container. You can go to that. My oldest one night woke me up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. He was dying. He was like, I feel I'm so sick. I feel horrible. I'm like, what is wrong? I get up and I take care of him, and I'm up the rest of the night with him, and I'm changing sheets because he's just spewed everywhere.
Oh, gosh.
And then the next morning, I realized that he had eaten a Sam-size box of oatmeal cream pies.
Oh.
I'm like, you don't get to wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you're sick and dying from eating a Sam-size container of oatmeal cream pies.
That was not what was on the table for you.
That was not in your Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So how old was he when he did that?
Probably about 12.
Oh,
It was pretty
I could
early
see
on.
Wesley do that.
It was pretty early on. Well, you go from having nothing at home to eat
Yeah.
to everything.
to having a Sam-sized container of oatmeal cream. I mean, come on, oatmeal cream pies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better than that.
And
And
then
you've
there's
got
like
an entire
800.
36 count,
Yeah.
or however many's in there.
Oh,
You
that
know.
makes me a little sick.
Like,
to my
Oh,
stomach.
he
I
was
think
sick
even eating
as
like
a
2
dog.
of them's like too much for me. I don't know how he stuffed
Food,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
Food has been a big issue. I had another child that I got a call from a kindergarten teacher, and they were like, well, she's been stealing snacks
From other kids?
from other kids at school. And
Oh, no.
she takes her own snacks. We buy snacks. Y'all, she was going, and a little girl had Swiss rolls, and she was going and threatening her and taking her food. And if you tell anybody, I'll beat you up.
Oh, no.
Snacks have been a problem over
Yeah.
the years. But,
goodness.
but anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's learned behavior.
Yeah,
So
that's
she
true.
probably saw that.
Well, she's probably worried about her siblings eating her crap. She's
Yeah.
like, don't touch my shit.
Right.
I'm in a class without any other siblings. Let me get what I want
Right.
when
Yeah,
I want it. Right
we're
now.
all 5. I
Yes.
can really get
Yes.
my way here. I'm not low man on the totem
That's
pole
right.
anymore. Yeah.
Have you, we've talked about this in the support group before, but have you noticed that it's like that with foster and adoptive parents, it's either like Jennifer and I with 1 to 2 children, or it's like 7.
Yeah, like you need a passenger van.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I like you, and there's like at least 2 others I can think of, and I have personal friends that have done foster adoption and have like 7 children.
Yeah.
It always amazes me. It's like there's very little middle ground. It's not like, oh, we splurged and got a third. It's like, no, we got 10.
Yeah, right. Right. Yes.
Did Randy ever be like, because you had such a big family, or because they were all part of a big family, did y'all ever, is that why you just felt compelled to keep going? Because you just wanted to make sure the kids were all together and taken care of?
We just wanted them together. You know, I'm the 4th of 5, and Randy's the 3rd of 3. I did not want a big family. I came from a big family. I did not want, and there's that, I love my family. Yeah. I did not want that, because I can remember as a kid, everybody's like, oh, here come the kids, you know, there they are, you know. And people didn't know our names. They didn't know which one we were, you know, sort of thing. And I just wanted one, you know, maybe 2, and be done with it. And Randy was always just like, no, I want 6. I want to fill a minivan. Well, that's what we did.
Yep. And then he told you to rip it up.
And then he decided, that was not what I expected that to be. Yeah, I don't know if he would have stopped had we not had such a bad experience with Eli.
I gotcha.
I think he would have had a farm and, 10 kids had we not had but having such a bad experience with Eli, that did it. That put a stop to it.
So now that you only have 2 in the house, there's no...
Oh, there's no going back.
No, there's not going to be any other pitter-patters or any new kids come in? Or...
The older kids aren't like, hey, take care of the grandbabies, please.
Yeah, well, that could happen, but I'm just asking like fostering or...
Yeah, no, we're done. We're completely done. I cannot imagine going back through. I'm not at a place. I'm finally starting to learn to take care of myself because I stopped taking care of myself.
Gotcha.
Completely. I had major health issues. I wasn't, the epitome of health before.
Right.
But with all of that, I had major health issues.
Gotcha.
And I finally now, in the past 4 years, I would say, 3 or 4 years, finally starting to really take care of myself better. Gotcha. And I feel like I would start undoing that if I went back.
Well, then let's not.
Yeah.
You can just play with grandbabies when they come. So
right.
There you go.
Exactly.
And we're not keeping this one. You take that one back with you.
Right. Absolutely.
No overnights.
No. Nobody
you stay
stays
here with them while they're here, and then you go and take them with you.
That's the way we're running things.
Yeah. Okay.
Has what about your sister, the one that's married to Randy's brother? Did they end up having like lots of kids too?
They have 3.
Biological, or do they adopt?
3 biological. No, we're the only ones that in our family that have adopted. I have friends that have adopted, but Randy doesn't.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have a lot of friends. He says he has me. He doesn't need friends.
Aww.
Pretty much I'm all he can handle. But
it's a very straight man thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need friends. I got my wife.
Yeah, that's the way he feels. And what's funny about my sister and I marrying brothers is their middle son looks like Randy and me. It's so odd. It is. I mean, it's like, okay, that's what our kids would have looked like, because he's built like Randy and colored like me.
Oh, that's
funny.
And it's so fun. I mean, it's just really weird to see, but yeah.
I always wonder how, because like my family, my brother's adopted, so like it was not obvious, but it was like a logical step for me to want, and because we're a same-sex couple, it's like we ain't gonna have naturally because it's either too expensive or whatever. But I always wondered how like like the straight nuclear families, like how do y'all get there? Because it's not always. It's either like, oh, we know someone, or you don't, and I always wondered.
I've tried to think back of, did I know anybody when I was a young child that was adopted? And I really don't remember.
Do you know anybody that did foster?
Oh, no. I had never heard of fostering till I was an adult. I lived in a really...
I don't think I did either.
I lived in a really small place, and everybody,
Maybe you just saw a TV show or was on Sesame Street one time about adopting, and you're like, that's it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm going to do.
I don't know. But
That's
it's something
interesting.
I've always wanted to do. I mean,
Yeah.
I can remember having conversations with friends in high school and college about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I was like, I'll adopt.
you
But
go.
we've also talked about that I am a wimp. It could have been the whole pain thing.
That could be
I mean, that's a legitimate concern.
I mean, but you already had pain with 3 miscarriages. So
Yes.
That's
Yes.
more than
Yeah.
enough pain for anybody in the world. So,
Right.
you know.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys didn't go to Kazakhstan after all, and now you got 6 babies that you have good and bad stories about.
Yeah, right. There have been
That we've
absolutely
heard
amazing
about,
days
yeah.
and absolutely...
But I say you're in the home stretch now because you just said that you're finally completely out of elementary school.
Yes.
So Manny, right? Is the
Manny's
youngest? He's
junior
in
high,
junior high.
and Eli's high school,
Yeah.
and we're just, well, I was thinking on the way here that we've got a couple of more milestones to get through with each of them, but then that's going to be the last of that.
Yeah.
It's going to be the last of that.
Yeah.
So.
You can sell the minivan and
Oh yeah. Oh no, I've already downsized. We had, before I had a Suburban, and then when Mia moved out, I downsized. I can only get 5 people in the back of this one. I
there you
can't,
go.
and we're going smaller. That house is next.
There you go.
When interest rates are where they should be, that house is gone. It's days. I've already started painting.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm doing a few
You're
things
getting
at a time
ready,
so
yeah.
that when I'm ready to put that sign in the yard, there's nothing else for me
Yeah,
to do.
and there's nothing Randy can say because you've already said it and you've already put it out there that you're going to do it.
Right. Yes.
I've told Zane the same thing. It was like when Kalia and Justin get out of this house, I'm like, I want a smaller house. I don't want to maintain a big house.
Exactly. I'm right there with you. It's been an expensive summer with this house, and I don't want to do. I'm done.
Yeah.
I want a smaller house, and I want to only have so many people that can get in
Stay.
it.
Yep.
So the ones that I have left, how are they doing now that they've launched?
Launching has been difficult for every one of them.
Yeah. I think that's true for just kids nowadays in general. But
Yeah.
foster kids are their own special tornadoes of
Right.
chaos. But
Yeah, I think I think from my experience and from my friends' experiences that have children about our kids' ages, their kids want to go, and they go,
and then they come back.
and then they come back, but it's different. Ours, I think my friends' biological children feel that it's okay to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to move out and go to college or move out and start a job.
Right.
Because that's what you do. You get to a certain... And they go peacefully.
Right.
Ours do not go peacefully. It's not that we're trying to keep them or that we're throwing them out. They feel like they have to destroy the relationship to be able to go.
Huh.
They have to blow it up to be able to go. There has to be a reason that I have to get out of here to go. And it's like, no, there doesn't have to be a reason. The reason is you're 18, 19, 20,
Right.
and you're ready to take that step. That's fine.
Yeah, it's a good
We
reason.
have not been able to get any of them to understand that yet.
Hopefully
They've all left under
duress.
right, just a bad situation.
Oh,
It's like, could we just have somebody just say, you know what?
Thank you and goodbye.
Yeah, and I'll see you, Sunday for dinner.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's okay to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what we thought we had worked through that with the last one, and obviously we hadn't.
Was that Mia? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We,
Hopefully you'll save that one for story time because that's a pretty good one. If you want to.
So, but if we could just get them to understand that it is natural.
Maybe just
And
start
you're-
working on Eli right now.
Oh,
since
we
he started
already
in high
have.
school.
We
So,
talk
like,
all that. Y'all know me. I talk. I loved, and I am talking. I'm not gonna hide any. I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's okay to go 19, 20, whatever it is you want to go to school. Go do that. That's okay. We don't raise children to keep them up under us.
Right.
We raise them to go and then come back and visit and
Right.
then go back.
Yeah.
And if we can, we're trying, we're talking about it again already, even though he's only, in the 9th grade. It might take me 4 years to get that point across.
It
So,
might.
I've been saying that to Kalia. Like, when you get to like 18, 19, you'll be in college. You won't be living with us no more. It'd be great.
Right. Right. And it's okay. You can go and come back and visit and then go again and then go. That's okay. That's what it's supposed to be.
You can go raid my cupboards for your food. Leave,
We'll make sure we got
back.
oatmeal raisin cream pies.
I'll buy you as a goodwill. Just 36 of them. Here you go. It's a goodbye present.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I think this is a pretty good transition time.
Yeah.
We're already at like 55 minutes.
Woohoo, look at us go.
So for our 9 listeners, if you have any funny stories about your kids,
or if you need some bad parenting advice or have any ideas for topics,
please email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com, all one word. Mm-hmm. Miss Melissa, that was bad English. Miss Melissa, when we invited you over, I was like, tell me what you want. She kept insisting. She's like, I'll just bring something. She brought in a fabulous little charcuterie board. Mm-hmm. What'd you bring for us?
Let's see. It's some sharp cheddar and some mild cheddar, cherries and strawberries and almonds.
They are
Yum,
all
yum,
and sweet gherkins, right?
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Sweet.
them cherries are the bomb. I need
Yeah,
to
those
go get
cherries
me
are
some.
really good.
I've been eating most of them.
They're Sam's.
They're
Yeah.
so good.
Yes.
Jason, we gotta go to Sam's.
Heck yeah. All right, well, we've had our drink, we've had our snack time, now it's story time. Melissa, do you have a good story time? I had said something about Mia, but if you want to do something else, or like one of the kids like poo on the wall, or like stabbed someone else, that's fine.
Oh, we've had those things.
She's like, let me tell you how many times this has happened.
Yeah, I didn't even mention that when we got our first son, when we got Marcel to begin with, we had him only a couple of weeks, and we had 2 other foster kids move in. He was 4. We had another 4-year-old and another 2-year-old.
Oh.
They were brothers, but they were a private placement through a private
organization.
Yeah, just a private organization that temporarily the children were placed into foster care so that the mother could get into a stable situation, get out of an abusive situation and get herself established. So they were never meant to stay. They were only, when we first started, we went in big with 2 4-year-olds and a 2-year-old.
Oh, wow.
You don't do anything by halves.
Right. And the 4 2-year-olds were at breakfast one morning, and one had a sausage patty and the other one wanted it. So he reached over to get that sausage patty, and he got stabbed in the hand with a fork.
Oh my goodness!
Did it break skin?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. And we were out of state because
God.
we had gone to take the kids home to visit our families, and so I'm out of state with foster kids that looked nothing like me and a fork stab.
Oh God!
Wait, was it Manny that stabbed the?
No, Marcel.
no.
It was Marcel.
Yeah, Marcel stabbed another
Another
little kid. And I was like, look, dude, he's from a big sibling group. You do not take food off his plate. Do not do
my
that.
God.
I've threatened it. I don't think I've ever done it. But I've threatened, you don't put your hand near my plate. But
Jonathan
that's so
stabbed him pretty good. I mean, he had 4 prongs or 5 prongs right across the back of his
God.
hand.
That is hilarious. It's sad, but it's funny too.
Where's your family at?
Mississippi.
Oh, okay. Like when Jennifer and I got Wesley and Kalia, like they made a big deal. Like you do not take them out of state. You can let us know and we'll approve it, but you do not take them out of state. Were they the same way back then? Or?
We had to actually back then. That was when Governor Riley was in office, and we had to turn in paperwork to DHR. DHR had to send it to the Capitol to get the governor to sign off on it, so that allow us to take the kids out.
Wow!
Of state.
So you
They
had
never
to do that,
denied
a year
us.
before? You had to do like a year before so that it'll get
No,
through
it
the
was
channels?
it was about a month before.
Oh.
Wow.
But yeah, we had to have a governor's signature that said we could take them out of state.
I mean, DHR continuously amazes me. It's like, oh, we're going to make sure the kids are taken care of, but we're going to pay these social workers next to nothing.
Right.
And overwork the hell out of them so they like can't do a good job, and then we're gonna like leave the kids in awful foster families. Not that you are, but you just hear all these horror stories.
Oh yeah.
Like,
our kids, when we got our oldest, the year we got him, we were like his 11th placement.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Just because was he having a lot of behavioral problems?
He was a behavior problem, but he was also, you know, you don't always get the full story. When
Yes.
you go, oh, I have a kid now. Oh, he's so great. Oh, yeah, he, you know, destroys property, or he's set things on fire. You know, that sort of thing.
He destroys bathrooms.
Right, yeah.
He killed the family pet.
Well, my whole thing with that is that they kind of negotiated with Biomom and was like, hey, if you sign off on all these kids, we'll give you one free kind of thing. And it's, no, you tell her, look, you haven't done what you're supposed to do. You're done.
Right.
Deuces. I'm out. Like, I don't understand how they could do that, because that just, I'm sure, 2 months away and 2 different families, because Eli had to go to that other foster family, that messed him up.
Oh, yeah.
He's already messed up for being, you know, taken.
He was, this might be too long of a story. This kid has a memory that is crazy.
Yeah.
He can not go somewhere for years, and then we'll pass by and he'll go, oh, I remember we went there and you ordered this and this was happened and that we talked about that. He's got a crazy memory.
Must be nice.
Even though he was only like 2 years old when this happened.
Yeah.
He can still remember some things?
For the next couple of years. Because, see, they took him at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The next couple of years, when the stores would start putting out Christmas stuff, he would immediately get clingy and he would say, don't let me be lost for Christmas. Yeah, I'm going to cry.
Aww.
Don't let me be lost for Christmas. He remembered it for years. Y'all, it's only been, it's been probably several years, but he has stopped doing that. But it took 3, 4, 5 Christmases of don't let me be lost for Christmas.
Oh.
He remembered it. His memory is insane. And he remembered that even as young as he was.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wanna give
my
him a
heart's been
hug.
broken and ripped out
Yeah.
many times.
And glued back together and then broken again.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember in our training, they always warned us, like, be careful of holidays because it's triggering for them kids.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't think it hasn't been too bad for Clea or Wesley.
No,
but,
not really.
It's holidays have been something else for us over the years.
But you've had just lots of drama on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Right.
Like, you know, there's just been, it's not been all good times.
Yeah. So we do surprise Christmas. Randy and I'll just decide, you know, oh, let's just go ahead and do Christmas. We usually do it right when the kids get out of school, so that way they have all their stuff the whole time. And we also usually goes to travel and see family. Well, I'm not packing all that mess in my truck.
Right.
Take to another state. So what we've done, what's worked for us over the years is when we decide we're going to do it, I type up a Santa Claus letter and we stick it out in the mailbox and the kids get it the next day and it's Santa Claus saying, hey, I'm going to come see you tonight. You know, make sure everything's, you know, ready.
Aww.
And so, you know, they've had jealousy from kids at school going, why is Santa Claus coming to see y'all on a Friday?
Right.
And he's not coming to my house and we just live next door.
December 2nd. Why is he coming so early?
Right.
Because
So
I got trauma. That's why.
because I've gone through a bunch of crap to get here.
Yeah.
Deserve an early Christmas present.
Oh, good Lord. Well, thank you so much for coming out, Melissa. It's been a blast. Did you have a good time?
I did. I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, that's what a podcast is for.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
I just hope I didn't take up too much time myself.
No. This is exactly what we the whole idea of this podcast was we just wanted to get parents out here and talk to other parents because parenting is hard.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know. Jennifer and I are always impressed by you.
Yes.
Oh no.
Because you like have done so much and you always seem so on top of everything. And Jennifer and I are just, I don't know about Jennifer. I just feel like an idiot. Like,
oh no.
I feel like the worst mom in the world sometimes.
No, absolutely not. No.
So, I mean, the whole reason we did this podcast is just to like talk to other parents about their journeys and like how hard this is. So we love hearing these stories and we love having people out. So you did great and thank you so much.
And we love eating your food.
Yeah. And thanks for all 9 of our listeners to listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask if they can mount their TVs to their ceiling,
Tough shit.
go to bed.
Bye.
Bye, Melissa.
Bye.